This week, Bernadette and I went into a galaxy far, far away. No, not that movie. We saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
Hello, friends, families, and random listeners. This is First Thoughts, the official Sitcoms Anonymous movie review show. I'm your host, Andrew.
And I'm Bernadette.
How you doing, Bernadette?
Good.
Bernadette, did we go see a movie this week?
We did.
What did we go see?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
We saw Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's official beginning of Phase 2 for their movies. So, Bernadette, would you like to do the synopsis, or would you like me to do it?
You can.
Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy is about a group of misfits throughout space. It takes entirely on different worlds who band together to stop a Kree. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. A Kree, which is another alien, a Kree fanatic from destroying a world full of cops. Would you say that's about right, Bernadette?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before? No. When Marvel announced this movie, I literally had to Google who they were. And I have, what'd you say? Probably over 200 comics.
Mm-hmm.
I only recently, after they announced it, started collecting some Guardians of the Galaxy, but I had never heard of. The only one I had heard of before that was Rocket Raccoon, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into this pretty fresh on who they were. Bernadette, what'd you think of the movie?
I loved Rocket.
You loved Rocket
And Groot.
and Groot.
They were my favorites.
Your principal characters are Star-Lord, Peter Quill, Gamora, a character called Drax the Destroyer, Groot, who is a giant talking tree who only says the words, "I am Groot," and then Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper, who's kind of, would you say, like a New Yorker raccoon who's foul-mouthed and loves guns and is kind of an expert strategist.
Yeah.
Oh, and this movie stars Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldana, Vin Diesel, Dave Bautista, Glenn Close, Lee Pace. It's directed and written by James Gunn, who only got the job because he's best friends with Joss Whedon, who wrote and directed Avengers. So, fun fact. But he did an amazing job. This movie's a good movie.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
Okay, let's start with our positives. You love Rocket and Groot.
Yes.
Why?
They're just so cute and loving.
And they're funny. They're funny. They're like Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
Or like, for people who don't know who Laurel and Hardy.
Rocket.
Yeah, they're kind of like Chris Farley and David Spade. There's a smart one and there's a dumb one, and they're fast. There's one fast talking one. There's one slow one. You know, it's a comedy pairing that always works. You know, they're Fred and Barney. They're the honeymooners. Jackie Gleason and Norton. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else? I mean, do you have any story? Did you like the story? Could you follow the story?
I liked when they band together.
At the end?
Yes.
So, Lee Pace plays Ronan, who is 100% terrifying. I was legit afraid of him at times. He's going after something called an Infinity Stone. We've seen the Infinity Stones in other Marvel movies, like the Terrasect and the Ether, and then I think Loki's staff. And he's going after the Time Stone, and he's going to use it to destroy this world full of cops, basically space cops, for their crimes against his country, I guess. Yeah. But he's absolutely terrifying, and the Guardians get a hold of this, and this movie was just fun beginning to end. Chris Pratt does an amazing job. He's very funny, very likable. What did you think of the special effects? We saw this in 3D too, and so
I liked it. We saw, the 3D. I felt like it was the best, like the easiest 3D movie I've ever watched.
really,
Yeah, because I normally get a headache in a 3D movie.
A lot of times things are just jumping out at you in 3D movies, and there wasn't a lot of that. It was just more,
Here it is.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And then, I mean, I'm not gonna say I totally believe that. You know, I could tell that Rocket and Groot were CGI characters, but they were well integrated. You know, it didn't look like,
it didn't look fake.
didn't look fake. It was very well integrated. Music in this,
I love the music.
the music just goes.
I'd already looked at the music on iTunes.
Oh, really?
So I knew it was going to be good.
Yeah, it's all 70s and early 80s pop songs. And I think that's something I loved is I love 80s era, 80s, early 90s era. And
Sorry, folks.
and every pop culture, sorry, we're dropping stuff. Every pop culture reference, every time he tried to take something simple from Earth and like, because these people had never heard of Earth like movies, so he at one point describes Footloose as a legend on Earth, you know, which was really funny because they kept mentioning Kevin Bacon in the movie, and literally we saw the movie at a mall. Kevin Bacon was at the mall while we were watching the movie, and it was really, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Bernadette, do you have any negatives about the movie?
I don't.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything where I'm like, from beginning to end, something is bad about this.
Right.
You know, there might be some story things where I was like, you know, maybe they should have built that up, but it was so insignificant that I couldn't even call it bad. You know,
Right.
so yeah.
I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
it's really
It was
there's not
just-
much to say. This movie's fun.
Yeah, it was. And it was like, it was very easy to watch.
Mm-hmm. Fun from beginning to end. And that's what you want. And you know what? I got a legit tear in my eye when they all banded together at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it touched my heart. And just remember, as in all Marvel movies, stay until the very end of the credits. Because they do have an end stinger. You get to see another Marvel character who we've seen once on film. And I'm going to say, spoiler alert. Bernadette, should we spoil it?
Go for it.
Okay. Spoiler alert. If you want to skip ahead, you can skip ahead now. Skip ahead now if you don't want to know. Howard the Duck shows up. Bernadette, do you know who Howard the Duck is at all?
Now, Howard the Duck looked like an ugly, very bad man.
Howard the Duck kind of
He's
looked
a
like
duck.
if Donald Duck had like some really bad years. Like he got out of the Navy, Scrooge McDuck wasn't going to support him at all, and so he had to turn to like crime. That's what Howard the Duck sort of looked like.
Mhm.
But on the whole, Bernadette, go see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Do you want to do our ratings?
Sure.
So our ratings, as always, are theater, Redbox, own, or leave altogether. Bernadette?
Go to the theater. 3D. If I'd had my choice, we would have seen it in 3D IMAX.
I would say go to the theater. You could probably skip this one in 3D, but if all other showings are sold out like they were when we saw it, then go see it in 3D. It's not a bad 3D movie by any means. And then also own this, you know.
Mhm.
So Bernadette, do you have any recommendations?
Yes.
Okay.
Annie.
And like the old school Annie?
No. My recommendation is to go see the new Annie.
The new Annie with
It looks pretty funny.
when it's Wallace and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not out yet.
It's
though.
not out yet. But Cameron Diaz is in that.
That's okay.
I don't care for Cameron Diaz. Do you think Cameron Diaz can sing?
She's portrayed in a bad light, though, so.
I've never cared for Cameron Diaz. I think her face looks funny. My recommendation is not a movie or TV show. It is a band that Bernadette and I have discovered within the last year. They're called Mustard Courage. Go to YouTube and look them up. They're kind of an alternative bluegrass band, so very much Mumford & Sons sort of vibe to them. and they're just really great. Check out their song "Cruel Alibis." That's one that Bernadette and I both agree
It's very catchy.
could easily play on the radio here. Bernadette, if you had to say which Guardians of the Galaxy you are most like, who would you pick?
Rocket.
Your Rocket?
Yes.
Does that make me your Groot?
Yes.
Okay. Well, folks, go see this movie. Really go see it. I'm Andrew.
I'm Bernadette.
This is First Thoughts, and we're saying go to the movies. Hey guys, if you like the video, go ahead and click and subscribe below. Go ahead and feel free to leave any comments. And Bernie and I will be back for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Have a good day. Bye, guys.